Good day, everyone, and welcome to a video about weed legalization. Is it good or is it bad? And I consider myself someone who can speak on this topic because I live in Canada. I've smoked weed all my life, so I smoked it during the years it was illegal, and I smoked it during the years it's been legal. And this is the only country in the world who's blanketed like legalization right across the board for this drug. So I can tell you how it's affected this country without a question. I see it every day. And I can also speak on how it being illegal used to affect the country in the past. And I'll tell you right off the bat, there are good things on both sides here. This is not a clear-cut issue at all. And for all you we love weed, rah, 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 we want it legal no matter what. I understand your point, but as I did, I'm here to admit that I was wrong about certain things. Didn't see, there were warnings when weed was being legalized that I wouldn't even listen to. I was like, you guys are crazy. No, they weren't. Not all of them. Some of them were right. So let's start with the pros for legalization. Okay, let's start with that. Everyone smokes it, pretty much. Not everyone, but boy, a lot of people smoke weed. Okay, when they legalized it, one of the main things that was happening was now a whole bunch of people aren't criminals overnight because we're doing this illegal activity, smoking weed, for years. We're criminals during that, right? Because that's illegal. And I remember being downtown, going to the bars and get some weed in your pocket. You don't want to get caught with that. No. They might catch you with a beer in your pocket too, on the street or something, and the cop just make you pour it out usually. Catch you with weed? No. Hands behind your back. Never happened to me. I'm very, very lucky that never happened. But how many of my friends got busted for weed? Tons of them got busted for weed. I would almost say over half of all my friends from the past have a skirmish with the law over weed. Okay? And I don't believe anybody should suffer any legal consequences for smoking weed. No. I'll say that right point blank right now. If all you do is smoke some weed, you shouldn't go to jail for that. No. That's completely foolish. So that one thing makes it, yes, it's a little better that it's legal, okay? But let's some more. The black market. The black market is gone. Used to be able to, find a weed dealer, someone selling some weed, growing some weed, illegally selling it, whatever. I've had people deliver weed to my house. I've known lots of entrepreneurs selling lots of weed and hash, and that's a criminal market, okay? It is. So if it was all just peaceful and people selling and buying weed, that's great, but guns are involved, big grow ops. They're guarding them with guns. The cops come in. There's a shootout. And so it eliminated that. There is no black market for weed in Canada. You cannot buy weed from a dealer. It doesn't exist. Why would it? There's a store. Takes me 5 minutes to walk to it. There's another one about 10 to 15 minutes past that. And another one, go 17 minutes, there's another one past that. Weed stores everywhere, okay? So you can buy it as easily as you can buy booze. The black market is done. that's a plus. That's a plus. Have to say, not having to buy weed in a dark alley somewhere, worrying about the cops catching you and all that shit. That's all good. Okay, so that's another pro for it. Medical marijuana. Big plus. There's no question about it. Medical marijuana. Marijuana was classified as a Schedule 1 drug. That means it has no medical benefit whatsoever. What a stupid thing to say about weed. Got to be kidding me. It's been medicine for thousands of years. That's just stupid. Okay, that's just... So it never should have been classified as a class 1 drug anyway. So, what else can we say about the pros of it? The stigma. Us potheads were really looked down upon big time for many years, which we still are to a point. And I say we did. I'm a former pothead, but not off it that long that I would, it's not very long since I've been into weed. So I'm not going to pretend I'm this big reformed guy. I've smoked, I did hard drugs right up till a few months ago. So I'm definitely not a teetotaler, as they say. That's never what I've been. I am more now, but that's because I'm older and I've changed. But, the stigma was real bad, and people looked upon us as, we're the dregs of society because they're smoking a little weed. Foolish. That's not the case. So that's positive. You don't have to feel guilty you're breaking the law anymore. I believe that legalization of weed overall is mostly good. Okay, but now we have let's look at the other side. Excuse me. Has it changed society in Canada? Yes. It really has. One of the things I feel real guilty about getting wrong was, the big question was, if we legalize it, are more people going to try it just because it's legal? And I was big on the side of, no, that's crazy. People that don't smoke weed just because they don't want to smoke weed. It has nothing to do with the legality of it. Wrong. Wrong. That's surprising to me. I didn't realize that a lot of people just stayed away from it because it was illegal. I didn't realize that, because that never even crossed my mind for a second. Was I going to smoke weed or not smoke weed? Well, it's illegal. It's legal. Never even considered that. It's not even a bit. It was totally, do I like this? How does it make me feel? Everyone else is doing it too, so I don't really care about the legality of it. I never did, but some people do. Now, that's very shallow thinking. Okay, the government says it's legal now, so now I'll be a pothead. Are you letting the government just make your decisions for you? Wow, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should really look at the weed for what it is, decide if you want to smoke it. And what the government says should not make any difference. None whatsoever. Now, okay, if you don't want to ever break the law and you want to be totally law-abiding, okay, then it can make that difference. But just because the government now says, it's okay, it's legal, oh, it must be okay to go smoke it now. No. Wrong way to look at it. So that's one of the biggest things I see as a con to weed legalization. Number 2, walking downtown, I cannot walk 10 feet anywhere without smelling weed. People are smoking it everywhere. The law states you can smoke it anywhere you can smoke a cigarette. So anywhere you're outside, you can smoke it. I mean, it's crazy. Walk down the street, it's coming out the windows of the houses. The smoke is pouring out. I know certain houses that I walk by, I'm going to smell weed about 20 feet before I get to the house. I'm going to start smelling it. And as I walk by the house, it's going to waft out the windows. And I'm going to smell it. And I'm a bit of a connoisseur, so I'm like, that smells like an indica. I usually know what it is. But I feel bad for people who don't want it around them. Kids. Families walking with their kids. If you're walking downtown, your kids are smelling weed. Not only smelling it, they're seeing people. It's one thing to smoke a joint. If I ever do it where anybody's around at all, it'll be a joint. It'll never be a pipe sitting there, and that's what people are doing on the park benches and stuff. Like, sitting there smoking weed, and the kids are, Mommy, what's he doing? What's he doing? That's not good. Okay, that's a con for sure. That's not good. Not good at all. Gateway drug. I've argued with people over this for years and years and years. Even though I'm mostly, I don't want to say a supporter of weed. I'm not as against it as most people are. Or as, like, the people that are against it, usually they're more against it than me. I'm on the fence with some things, but it being a gateway drug, it certainly is. There's no doubt in my mind. You start with weed, and why do you start with that? Well, especially now, it's legal. The government even says it's okay to try this. Do you think you're going to smoke weed when you've never tried another drug in your life? The government says it's okay to do it, so you go, okay, I'm going to try this weed, and you smoke it. You don't think that's going to possibly lead you to more experimentation? Well, that's pretty naive. That's crazy naive. It's going to, and does, every day. It did with me. I started with weed. My father gave me weed. I was 14 years old. He gave me weed, and I smoked it. Actually, it was hash. And I got nothing off it the first time, so he gave me some more another time. I still got nothing off it, so then he got me some Lebanese red hash. Really smoking good hash. And that did something for me. That really did something for me. I was into LSD within 6 months. That was the next one I tried. And then from there it was bennies, and I just kept on going, right? Ecstasy, and you name it. But if I wouldn't have started with the weed, well, to be honest, I guess alcohol was the gateway drug. Alcohol was the gateway drug. So, yeah, this is like Mike's Hard Lemonade. This is the gateway drug. This is the drug that almost every kid tries first, or weed. Weed is a close second now, I'd say. Very close second. So, another con to legalization, it empowers the gateway drug concept. It makes it worse. Law enforcement. Well, like I said, it wiped out the black market, so it had to improve that. But because everybody's smoking weed all the time, seems to have changed the whole attitude. Like, because weed's legal and booze is legal, when you're giving somebody a hassle for meth or heroin or fentanyl or whatever they're doing, like as far as the cops are concerned, it's a different attitude. Everybody's changed their attitude towards things because weed is legal. And, well, with the Liberal Party of Canada, they want all drugs to be legal, which I think there's a version of that could work, but they're not doing the right one. They just want to make everything legal and just free for all and have vending machines outside of hospitals with, you can get crack pipes and needles and stuff out of these vending machines. Whoa, no, that's not a good idea. That's over the top. But the attitude has changed and needs to go back to a bit of, drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. This is just a message that drugs are good. That's what I think. That's what I think it's given a lot of people. And that's sad. That's not good. That's not the direction we should be heading in. So overall, should weed be legal? Weed should be decriminalized. And I believe people should be able to grow a plant themselves if they want to, if they do it responsibly and don't grow it somewhere where kids can get at the plant. And, there's certain responsibility that everybody has if they're going to do things like that. I think you should be able to grow opium poppies and whatever you want. It's a plant. It's up to you and the plant kingdom. It's nothing to do with the government. They have no right to say what you do that way, unless you're growing a great big field of it and supplying the world with heroin. Yes, that's different. But I'm talking about having a garden in your backyard and growing 20 poppies and, gathering a little bit of opium if you want. That's up to you. That shouldn't be anything to do with them. Selling it and making a business out of it, that's different. But as far as your own personal consumption, if you want to consume a plant, it's between you and the plant. No one else has anything to do with it. It's my opinion. So with weed legalization, mostly a positive thing, definitely some negative consequences to it. And I think it needs to be re-examined, and the messaging that needs to come out from it should be different, definitely. Let me know what you think about weed. I know most of you probably smoke it like there's no tomorrow. I know some of you do. But especially if you're a Canadian, we smoke a lot of weed in Canada. That is a fact. We're one of the biggest consumers of marijuana anywhere in the world. That's what people say. Canadians are so nice. We're just so damn high. That's the result.